All right, in Unit 4, Section 2, we're just going to continue to build on what we've already learned. We are now going to look at solving equations that have like terms and parentheses. So parentheses meaning that we're going to have to do distributive property. So we're going to start with solving equations by combining like terms. So your directions, as they are for all of these, are to solve each equation and then check your solution. So if you look at number 1, we have 13t minus 7 minus 10t equals 2. When you're solving equations, you must look at each side of the equal sign and combine any like terms you have first before you do anything else. So for example, for on number 1, we need to combine 13t and negative 10t. And I like to go ahead and just write them right next to each other because for me it makes it a little bit easier. So 13t minus 10t is 3t minus 7 equals 2. So we've combined those like terms on the left. Now we're at the point where we were in Unit 4, Section 1, where we're solving a two-step equation. So we're going to add or subtract first. In this case, we need to add 7 to both sides. So we'll get 3t equals 9. And then in this case, we're going to divide by 3, and we'll get t equals 3. So again, the first thing I did, I combined like terms over here on the left side because I had 13t and negative 10t. Then at this point, I was at a two-step equation. I was subtracting 7, so I added 7 to both sides, and then I was multiplying 3 times t, so I divided by 3 to get my answer. Then I can plug that in and check it. So I'll have 13 times 3 minus 7 minus 10 times 3 equals 2. 13 times 3 is 39, minus 7 minus 10 times 3 is 30, equals 2. 39 times 7 is 32. Oh, sorry, 32. 32 minus 30 is 2. So I'm good there. I know I've got the right answer. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and try number 2. Remember, you need to combine like terms before you do anything else. All right, in the next section, it says solving equations using the distributive property. So as we add things on, we're adding another thing we need to do first. So first in Unit 4, Section 1, we added or subtracted, and then we multiplied or divided. Then we just said we need to put combining like terms before that. Now we're saying we need to put distributive property before that. So if you look at number 1, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. I have negative 20 minus the quantity 4x minus 1 equals negative 15. Right here where I have the minus sign, I have the ghostly 1. I have a negative 1 right there. And that's what I'm going to have to distribute to both of these. So I have negative 20. I'm doing negative 1 times 4x, which gives me minus 4x. And then I have negative 1 times negative 1, so I'll wind up with a positive 1 right there. Two negatives or two subtraction signs are going to give me a positive, and that equals negative 15. So distributive property is my first thing. Then I need to combine like terms. So in this case, I have negative 20 and positive 1 as like terms. So I'll have negative 4x minus 19 equals 15. Now I have a two-step equation, so I can add 19 to both sides. And I will wind up with negative 4x equals positive 4. I'm going to rewrite that over here just so I have some more room. Negative 4x equals positive 4. I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. So I'll get x equals negative 1. So make sure you have that down. Looking at number 2, I'm going to rewrite it first. So I have 6 times the quantity 2x plus 3 equals 42. Distributing is my first option. So 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times 3 is 18. I have an addition sign between them, equals 42. So now I have a two-step equation, which means I'm going to add or subtract first. In this case, I'm going to subtract. So I will get 12x equals 24. After I add or subtract, then I need to multiply or divide. In this case, I need to divide. So I'll get x equals 2. Okay. I'm going to leave the check step for you guys, so make sure you go ahead and check 2 for me. Make sure that's the right answer. All right, next up we have combining like terms after distributing, which again is just going to kind of take this a little bit further, but still a step-by-step process. So first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this just so for me it's easier to work out that way. So I'm going to distribute 12 to the x and 12 to the 3, so I'll get 12x and I'll get 36. There's an addition sign between them, and I have minus 3x equals 117. If you look at the left side, I have 12x and I have negative 3x, which are like terms. So I need to combine those before I do anything else. So 12x minus 3x is 9x plus 36 equals 117. And now I'm at a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. I'll get 9x equals 81. And then I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. I'll get x equals 9. If you haven't noticed already, as we get into more advanced problems, the check step becomes more advanced. So it's really important that you're careful when you plug in your numbers and that you pay close attention on your check step. So I'm going to go to my parentheses first. 9 plus 3 is 12. So then I have 12 times 12, which is 144, minus 3 times 9, which is 27. So I'll get 117 equals 117. So I know I'm all good there. All right, looking at number 2, again, I'm going to write it over this way just so I have some more room to work on it. So I have negative 14 equals 6x minus 8 times the quantity x plus 3. Again, distributing is my first step. So I'm going to distribute the negative 8 to both of these. So I'll have negative 14 equals 6x. I'm doing negative 8 times x, so I get minus 8x. I'm doing negative 8 times 3, so I'll get negative 24. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and take over from here, combine like terms, and then it's a two-step equation. Make sure you show your check step, and then if you need any help, just ask your teacher. On the back side, we've got a couple more examples we can walk through. So I have 48 equals 15 plus 6 times the quantity 4 plus x minus 3x. So distribution, again, is my first step. 48 equals 15 plus, I'm distributing the 6 to both of these. So I have 24 plus 6x minus 3x. Then I need to combine like terms. So if you look on the right side, I can combine 15 and 24, which is 39. I can also combine 6x and negative 3x. So I'll wind up with plus 3x. Now it's a two-step equation, so I need to add or subtract whatever does not have the variable. In this case, I'm going to subtract 39. So I'll get 9 equals 3x. I'll move that over here so I have some more room. 9 equals 3x. And then I can divide both sides by 3. So I'll get 3 equals x for my answer. Okay, so again, just to review, first step, distributive property. Then I need to combine like terms. At this point, it's a two-step equation, so I'm going to add or subtract first. In this case, I've subtracted, and I need to multiply or divide, and in this case, I had to divide by 3. All right, so I'm going to leave number 4. Sorry, I got interrupted. I'm going to leave number 4 for you guys to try. As always, if you get stuck, ask your teacher for help. All right, after that, we've got a word problem here. So it says the length of a rectangle is 3 meters more than twice its width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 48 meters. Let W represent the width. And then it kind of walks you step by step how to solve a problem like this. So A says to sketch a diagram of a rectangle. So pretend that this rectangle looks good. We know that our rectangle, it says the length of the rectangle is 3 meters more than twice the width. So we're going to call our width W. It says let W represent the width. Then we know the length is 3 meters more than twice the width. So twice the width means 2W. 3 meters more, I'm going to add 3. We also know that our perimeter is 48 meters. So part A says to draw a rectangle. There's a rectangle. Part B says write an equation for the perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter of a rectangle, just to remind you, is 2w plus 2l. So ours is 48, because that's our perimeter, equals 2w, because our width is just w, plus 2, and then in parentheses we need to write 2w plus l, because that's what our length is. Then it says to find the length and width of the rectangle, so that just means we need to go ahead and solve this equation. So we have 2w. We need to distribute the 2 to both of these, so we get 4w plus 6. We look at the right side, we have like terms we need to combine, so 2w plus 4w becomes 6w. And now we have a two-step equation. Add or subtract first. In this case, we need to subtract 6, so we get 42 equals 6w. And then our last step is to divide both sides by 6. So we'll get that our width equals 6. We also need our length, which is 2 times the width plus 3. So that's going to give us a length of, so actually that's going to give us a width of 7. Thank you, eraser. So we'll have a width of 7, and then we can plug that in for the length. So 2 times 7 plus 3. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. So our length will be 17. So we have a width of 7 meters, and we have a length of 17 meters. For your review problems, the first review problem say describe the location of the point. So you're telling me whether it's in a quadrant or if it's on an axis. Okay, so what quadrant is it in, or what axis is it in? And then on the last page, your review problems are simplifying expressions. You've got some distributive property in there, but this is a review from Unit 2. All right, that's it for your Unit 4, Section 2 video.